did.
Oh.
Otherworldlyculture.com. Don't answer the door when you're homealone.com.
Is Tamara there?
Stop. An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1992 Mr. Baseball and the 2008 horror flick The Strangers, starring Tom Selleck, Scott Speedman? I don't know. Speedman.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler, Ken Takatora, Aya Takahashi, Gemma Ward, Dennis Heisbet. Okay, that's enough of that. Now two guys who talk to themselves when they need expert advice. Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller.
There we are. Wow. Hey, you're the one that picked the movie with all the Japanese names, so you can't blame me for that.
I just got done counting backwards from 10 in German.
Do I know how it's actually said?
Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I got eins right.
Everybody that comes from Transylvania like me knows that.
What's 11?
11 is elf.
You're right. What is 12?
It's wolf.
Okay, that's all I know.
Okay.
Well, hey, how do you say dog?
Hund.
Der Hund. How do you say black?
Schwarz.
Wow, you know your stuff.
Yeah. How do you swear in German? Donnerwetter, nachreiz mal.
Dummkopf.
That's pretty good. All right, that's one in a row.
Let's rock and
Put
roll.
that one as one for Jeff,
Oh,
everybody.
I got an extra point.
No, you don't get a point for that.
Hey, before we get rolling, you see this Muskego on here?
Yes, I do.
Muskego football is playing for the state championship tomorrow night against Bayport. This is a rematch of the 2019 state championship where Muskego won. Go Warriors.
Okay, so those that are betting on this, which way should they bet?
Well, if you want to win, you're going to bet on Muskego to win.
Okay.
And Brian Radish has done a hell of a job with that defensive end, with the defensive line. So,
do you think we should probably tell people what they're watching at this point?
Oh,
I don't
go
think
ahead.
we introduced the show.
Go ahead.
You're watching Dead on the Bases. Jeff is the ump. He's an obvious sports fan. Jeff actually invented a new type of pitching machine that throws wrenches instead of balls. It's called the Patches O'Houlihan pitching machine.
Oh, good
Yeah,
reference.
very, very good job, Jeff. So Jeff is a sports fan, so of course we give him horror movies to watch. I'm a horror fan, and he gives me these horrid, rotten, terrible sports movies that I'm forced to endure.
Whatever, Tim. It's like I have never heard that.
Every week. And
But they're not that bad.
The one that I survived this week is called Mr. Baseball, which I do not see Bob Uecker anywhere on the poster, and we all know that Bob Uecker is Mr. Baseball.
Yep.
So this is actually very difficult to find this movie because of the trademark infringement.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jeff got to watch The Strangers.
Now, even looking at this box cover,
It triggers you.
oh my God, I just knowing what I had in front of me, I'm like, I'm not going to be down this road. This is, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to get into it, isn't it?
Well,
So we want to thank everybody for coming out for another.
I don't even know why. I wish I didn't have to look at this part.
Okay, well, that's too bad.
Can I?
Yeah, you just scroll up. Keep scrolling.
There we go, I got it.
Oh, you don't want to watch that because
No.
you need to see
No, it's-
how long the movie is.
No, that's so
he
bad.
literally doesn't want to see the preview on IMDb because he needs to see where it says how long the movie is.
Yes, I do. But
Now, Jeff is going to pause and tell everybody to send him email
yep.
because that's coming up next. Are you ready, Jeff?
Yep.
Go ahead. Tell him.
Jeff at otherworldlyculture.com. I just cleaned out my mailbox, so it's free. It's open, ready to go. The fifth person to email me this week will get a free Dead on the Bases t-shirt.
This week.
This week
So
only.
you better rush in on that.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I was told to watch the movie The Strangers, and I can tell you right now, I was
You loved it.
I was not
You can tell.
not looking forward to this.
So
This is so
filled with
bad.
love.
I'm gonna give a little backstory here.
Okay.
Okay. So the other night, I'm like, I said to my wife, I'm like, hey, Debbie, I got to watch this movie. and she was a little upset because she did not like the Teenage Werewolf. She goes, I don't want to watch another.
I agree with that.
I don't want to watch another stupid movie. I said, I know. I said, I think this one's better because it's made in like 2008. I said, it's only an hour.
It's newer, at least.
It's. I said it's only an hour and 26 minutes long. I says we can get through this. She goes, all right, fine. So she gets on the couch. I get on the couch and I'm like, Tango. So Tango pops up on the couch and he's there. Thank God. This movie.
Tango saved Jeff.
This movie. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, this movie was something else. This movie. If you've been paying attention to Dead on the Bases since the beginning, this movie has scared me as much, if not a little bit more, than The Conjuring. So there's been a lot of movies in between there.
Yes, there have.
This movie is very, very harrowing. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's an hour and 26 minutes long, and for every minute of that hour and 26 minutes, your body is just you can feel the horror in the movie. If that's a thing, Tim, you can actually feel the horror, because if you're not seeing horror happen, you're hearing it in the music and the background noise, and it's just, oh my God, I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie. So let's break down this movie just a little bit. So this is what we're gonna say. We're gonna say a few things about this movie. It's horror, mystery, thriller. There's a whole bunch of things going on.
He moved past the length of the film
because I remember it's an hour 26. So here's the thing. So you have Scott Speedsman, not Speedo. Scott
Speedman.
Speedsman. Scott. Oh no, it's no S. Scott Speedman, and you have Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler is Aerosmith's daughter. What's his name?
All of Aerosmith?
No. What's his name? Steven Tyler. It's Steven Tyler. So you got Scott.
No, it's Savini Tyler.
Right. So you have these two characters in here, and what you're getting from this is that they're coming back from a wedding, or they're coming back from something, and he must have tried to propose. She turned him down, but he's like, well, let's still go back to the house, because that was.
Can we have breakup sex?
That was
right. I mean, he's undoing her clothes and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, they do get
hey, dude, you dodged the bullet, is what I'm thinking.
They actually get to the point where they're gonna have sex, and then all of a sudden you hear, and right there, you're in for the ride of your life if you've never seen this movie. They go to the door, there's someone there. But then you really don't know if that is somebody, because when they go to take a look for her, they can't really see her. And I'm like, is that a ghost? What's going on? Because I've never seen this movie.
Yep.
I'm like, is that a ghost? What's going on? So it gets creepier and creepier. But the thing of it is that, so Liv Tyler, she's smoking in here. She is smoking hot. But
she is smoking, yeah.
But she's smoking, and she's like, I need some cigarettes. And I think James Hoyt, okay, so that's his character. Scott Speedman's character is...
You can just say Scott Speedman. We're okay with
Okay, Scott Speedman, just Scott. Let me just say Scott. So Scott goes, you know what? I'll go get you some cigarettes. Now, I'm really surprised, because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Where is he going to go? And they're down this country road, and I'm like, that really doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm in it to win it here. I'm winning to find out what's going on. So all of a sudden...
See, and usually that's the father of some children that says, I'm going out to get some cigarettes, and he's never seen again.
Right. He's like, because he's already called his buddy to say, come pick me up in the morning. Because he's like, this didn't work out. The engagement ring, she doesn't have it.
Yep.
But he leaves. And, I said to Debbie, I'm like, I don't think I'd ever leave you in this situation. I said, why would I? I mean, what's the sense of leaving at 4? But... he was pissed. He was upset that she turned him down, and he's like, I need to get out of here, so he got out, right? Well, everything starts going haywire. So power gets turned off. There's people coming up. There's so many things I want to say, but I can't. There's just a lot of creepiness in this. So let's just use this for example. If you've ever seen a movie where you see the main character and you happen to see something in the background, stuff like that happens in here, and that's not a spoiler.
We actually have a term for that our group Otherworldly Culture has coined. We call it Waldo vision. It's where you look at the whole screen and it's like, there's Waldo. There's Waldo. There's something going on in the background there.
That's got to be the creepiest thing, and that's the creepiest thing in all movies, is that there's something going on and the main character doesn't know it. So
you know what Alfred Hitchcock used to say the scariest thing in movies was?
What?
A closed door.
Because
you don't know what's on the other side. And you see that. I kept thinking every time they went to the front door of this movie, invest in a goddamn peephole.
Thank you. My wife said the same thing. She goes, who has a house that doesn't have a peephole or have a side window so you can see who's there? She's like, who has that? So, of course, we get through this. There's a lot of terror going on, and it's just like, it's more, and if the way that you watch this movie is it's more like terror because they don't initially, I'm not giving anything away, they don't initially like go after it like, okay, so if you're going to have a horror movie or whatever, let's just say it's Jason or whatever, and he's going after somebody, he kills them. This was more like a cat and mouse, like kind of like, more like torture, more like more like the people that came.
No, they're messing with them.
They're messing with them.
They're messing with them.
They're messing with them. There's three people. They have these masks on, and one guy's got a sack over his head, like a flour sack.
Yep.
And it's super creepy, and you know that they're super messing with them. And I mean, so many things happen in here, like a cell phone gets thrown in the fire. He's not back. His buddy is coming up. You know, I mean, everything's coming together at one point.
By the way, did you recognize the buddy? Did he look familiar?
He did, but I couldn't place him. I could not place him. No.
I'll let you know. Have you seen the television show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, it's with Danny DeVito, but I've never seen it.
Okay, well, he's one of the creators of that show, and he's the star of that show.
Okay.
So you may have seen him, but didn't know. But yeah, he's a comedy actor. Okay. He was not funny in this.
No, but we're not going to say what happened.
Right.
So anyways, so we're getting back to this. So a lot is going on. Scott comes back, you know, and he's just like, he's trying to make sure everything is he's going to try to get them both to be safe. Honestly, if it was me and I had a gun, like he has a gun, I told Debbie this a few times, I would go into a room where there's not a window. I'd have my back up against the wall and let him come to me. I can see everything in front of me then. But anyway.
But you don't know how many there are.
Right. But
and I've got a gun he had was a single.
But I have a whole pocket full of bullets.
I agree with you. There are about 10 million things they could have done.
You put your back to the wall and you just watch what's coming. But whatever. Anyways, back to the movie. So there's a lot of terror going on, a lot of scare. So what they did with Liv Tyler in this movie, I did a little research. The director, which I could go back and take a look, and I'm going to do it. Bryce Bertino, what he did.
Brian.
You're right, Brian. Brian Bertino. Or
Bernice, or something else.
No, but here's the thing. He would tell Liv, he'd be like, hey, this noise is going to come out of the front, like to your right. Oh, this is my left, but to your right. And then the noise comes to the left. So she was actually really like startled when the noise came from a different side of where she thought it was going to come. Mm-hmm. They also made her do a lot of calisthenics and a lot of like jumping jacks and in between scenes so that when they did do the acting scene, she would be out of breath. So
that was strictly so the crew would have something to watch.
I think the acting in this was very good. It didn't seem like they were acting. It seemed like this is really happening, to tell you the God's honest truth. I felt like they were really going to be involved in this whole situation. There is a part in the movie which won't ruin anything, but Liv Tyler, her character Kristen, actually says to the people, because the three people, the three intruders, they don't really talk. There's a few words said, and maybe if you count it up, maybe 25 words total. She's like, "Why are you doing this?" And the person, this is not a spoiler.
It happens in the last 10 minutes in the movie, but go ahead.
I didn't say it did. It could have happened in the beginning of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Well, then forget that. I'm not going to tell you guys. It was just very creepy. And
it is up on the screen right now, so you can see it.
Well, when they ask her, and she says, no, I'm not going to do it. Forget it. Listen. So here's the thing.
He's scared. By the way, folks at home, he's scared I'm going to press spoiler alert on him.
Right.
He's very upset.
Because I try my best not to.
I'm going to allow you to say the line because it is good.
Can I tell people that Jaws gets shot in the end?
My God.
No. So can I say the line? All right, here's the thing.
Yes.
Spoiler or not, somewhere in the movie, she just asks her, she goes, "Why are you doing this?" How long does that go for?
I don't know. Should stop one of these days.
Anyways, in the movie, she says, why us? Why are you doing this? And she goes, "Because you were home." If that's not a creepy line, if that's not creepy, I don't know what is. It was very creepy, very haunting, all the way to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
It is an extremely creepy, haunting movie that you're gonna.
You know what I
know how I felt like this before. Go ahead.
What I wish is that I was watching it on a DVD
Yeah.
that didn't have 5.1 surround sound.
Yeah.
I don't even know that they released that, but I wish I had 5.1 surround sound because so much of this movie you hear.
Yes, 100%. When this movie was released, some of the movie theaters got a bad copy of it.
Yes.
And there was like crackling and all that. So that's what you heard. I mean, it was not supposed to be like that, but that's what you heard. And it's a very haunting movie when it comes to what you're listening to.
Right.
If you were to close your eyes for an hour and 26 minutes and just listen to it.
Oh, we'll be talking about that movie in a minute.
Great. You
said it. I wasn't gonna let it go by.
You would be freaked out. It's the last time I had the gut feeling like I had like this, not The Conjuring. That's when I was scared like this.
Yeah.
The last time I had this gut feeling was when you watch Seven and you see the end of Seven.
Yes.
You leave.
It's a gut punch.
You get done watching this movie and you are 100% drained. You are 100% drained. If you're not drinking during it, you're just gonna sit down and watch it. You will be drained because you totally get immersed in it. So, what I'm going to say...
We got to do the Pauly Shore yet. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So, the Pauly Shore connection...
Dude, need fundage, bro.
I hope you did it with... I'll bet you did it with Liv Tyler.
Oh, who do you think I was going to do it with?
That's what I said.
Some guy with a sack over his face?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Liv Tyler
Yep.
to what I think is her best... Well... Armageddon? No, I think that is her best movie, is that thing that you do. That connects to Clint Howard, who, of course, is the brother of Ron Howard.
See, that's like low-hanging fruit. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Clint's been in everything. He is a character actor, and to a certain extent, so is Pauly Shore. And that does connect up to Pauly Shore in a movie that no one has ever seen.
What's it called?
You think I can read that?
Well, you put it up there.
My Big Fat Something Movie.
Greek movie.
No, it isn't Greek. My Big Fat Something Movie. It's terrible from all accounts. I'm never going to watch it. But
well, how do you know it's terrible then?
I know. I know that.
Here's the thing. I don't know.
I am 812 years old. I know that movie sucks.
You know what? I have a hard time.
I'm just going to pull that card.
Watching movies because I always pick the bad ones, so I probably picked that one.
All right.
Anyway, so let's get back to this hour and 26-minute horror movie. This movie.
Someone's getting drunk.
Wow.
They're playing. They're playing the game along with the show every time.
What is that?
What?
What is that? That wasn't in my movie.
I know. I put it in there to scare you.
That's rotten. I locked my doors at my Jeep tonight. Are you kidding me? So here's the thing. Now, Tim might have an idea of what he thinks I'm going to give it.
I always have ideas.
But I don't think he really knows. This movie was well done. It has a story. So those are two things that are important to Jeff.
It's not incredibly gory. There's very little actual bloodshed.
It's put together well. The fact that he left her, I felt, but I mean, it has to do with the movie. That's how the movie gets done. I really liked it on the back end of really being scared. So it did what it was supposed to do. I'm not going to go as far as a 10 or a 9, but I'm going to give it a nice solid 8. I will.
Woo!
I mean, it's worth seeing. It really is. I mean, whether you like horror movies or not, this movie is really worth seeing. It's going to scare the crap out of you.
I wasn't sure how you were going to react to this one. I was like, well, this one, a lot of people don't like this movie. I always felt this movie actually delivers actual fear.
Yes.
I think it actually delivers why you go to a horror movie.
Yes.
And it does so in a way that, like I just mentioned, I don't think they would have to change this movie a whole lot to put it on commercial television. It's relatively bloodless, but you know these guys are doing very, very, very bad things.
Yes.
And you know it from the very start.
Yes.
And it's upsetting.
That's a good word too, upsetting.
It's upsetting, and it's intense.
It's intense. Those are all good words, Tim.
I did a crossword before today's
Here's
show.
the thing. Here's the thing.
And of course my nap because I'm elderly.
In all honesty, and I'm not really ashamed to say this, I didn't sleep well the night I watched it. I thought about it at work the next day, and even last night I had a little bit of difficulty watching this, or sleeping, because this movie gets in your head. It's like one of those earworms.
Yeah, and it is something where you go, what if 3 like really jerk assholes would set up camp at your house?
And they go, because you're home. Wow. Just, all right. I gave it an 8. If you don't watch horror movies, watch it. If you watch horror movies, watch it. If you've seen it before, I'm sure you know to watch it again. Because I can't imagine somebody giving this a bad review. It knocks it out of the park for me.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's break time, Jeff, which means you have to get some notes. Jeez. You are working so hard today. I didn't even get paid
that much to do this one.
Yeah, well, don't worry. It's coming in the email that they're going to send you to check. Ladies and gentlemen, Otherworldly Culture Sports is brought to you by Jeff the Animal Miller. Killer Miller,
there you
some
go. That's
would
better.
say.
That's better.
That
actually fits our show theme. My
does.
My high school nickname, Killer Miller, actually fits this. You know that?
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready to do this?
Born ready.
I'm going to count you backwards, like we did in radio school.
Let's go.
5, 4, 3.
I'm Jeff Miller, and this is Today in Sports History, November 21st. On this date, November 21st, 1934, the Yankee Clipper became a Yankee. Joe DiMaggio's contract was purchased from the San Francisco Seals. In 1973, Pete Rose, the Hit King, wins the National League MVP award. In 1982, the NFL resumes its season following a 57-day players' strike. In 1999, Darrell Jarrett wins the 51st NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. And in 2004, the Toronto Argonauts win the CFL, the Canadian Football League Grey Cup, 27-19 over the BC Lions. It's the first Grey Cup game played on next generation field turf, which is what you see now in the NFL. I'm Jeff Miller, and that's Today in Sports History.
Woo! I thought I'd contribute something.
Thank you.
Did you like that?
Sure.
You liked it more than you're letting on.
Does it? Now we're going to merch.
I love March Madness.
Yay!
Let's make some merch money.
I wonder where it's going to be today. I wonder where we have our merch. I hope it's somewhere nostalgic.
I think you might get what you wish. Here we go,
Can I
folks.
guess?
That's what. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
They're going. I knew where I wish you did it from, but I don't think you have the graphic from the place in Muskego that we used to have, pizza burger place.
Oh, Muskego Restaurant.
Yeah.
I do have that as one of the ads. Let's find out if this is the one, because I honestly can't remember.
We will return.
If I got that right, I get 5 extra points.
No, you don't.
In just a moment.
I do.
But first,
Let's make some merch money.
Dead on the Bases has You heard us right. You heard us develop the product online. You saw how the elements came together. You heard it all become the juggernaut of awesome you know today. We have Dead on the Bases merch. Get this high quality durable garment at our store or
I
a
love
fine
this.
partner
I don't know
location.
why.
Get our classic and classy tees that really shine, worn out on their own, paired with some chinos or a pair of jeans.
I love the
This is
chinos.
for
I don't know
sure
what
your
those are.
new favorite tee.
For 5
And
years
it's
we've been
also
doing this.
your
I don't know what that
significant
is.
other's new favorite tee. Made with a super soft blend of ring spun
That's something that
cotton
we've got
and
a
polyester to
app
help
on
the
the
shirt
phone.
keep its shape.
Oh,
This will
yeah.
soon be the shirt you wear for all occasions.
$5,200
And what else
shirt.
do we have coming in the line?
I'm thinking about getting coasters, and I'm thinking about getting tumblers, like Yetis. I don't know, man. I think we got a market going. I don't know.
As always, Jeff, you are so right. Get this fabulous product now at a
I was
location
drinking
near
than
you.
anything.
Get on the
Were ya?
bases when you care and when you are.
Remember Coast to
Open up
Coast?
Muskego style.
I could not find the graphic for Coast to Coast. That surprised me because Coast to Coast was a big store.
It was coast to coast.
Yeah.
But Muskego Restaurant wasn't a sit-down place. It was just a window, wasn't it?
You know, I never ate there while it was
Because it's
open.
It was the next street over from Irv's Sports Shack.
Yeah.
It was like where the condos are.
Right.
But I don't remember if it was an actual restaurant or if it was just
I remember
like
it
a
being
window.
small. You
Yes.
probably could fit it all in this room
Yeah,
that we're in.
I don't know, but they had great pizza burgers.
They do, and they still produce them.
I know, but
They're not the same.
nah.
They're not the same. But they do produce them, and they're available at some actually national. If you look up pizzaburger.com or whatever, they do distribute it throughout the United States.
And this guy's
you
got the
can
big
check
nose?
your and you can check if any stores near you.
It's
have
like
the
having a taste.
famous Muskego original pizza burger.
It's getting some Muskego in your mouth.
Yeah. The reason for the place is that it was right outside of an amusement park that we used to have a boardwalk here in Muskego. It was
Dandelion
like
Park.
the original theme park, like the old trolley parks that happened around the turn of the century. Shall I bore the audience more, or should we?
No, we get back
can
into
move
it.
on.
But I just want to say
Yeah.
that there will be a third T-shirt this year for Horror Realm. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
To celebrate my victory of this year's season, it might have a little crown on it. I'm not sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, you better make them both ways. I will remind everybody that you'll be able to see some live otherworldly culture goodness this year at Horror Realm. Horror Realm, of course, as you know, is coming to Pittsburgh February 28th through March 2nd. We're under 100 days now, 98 days, and they don't have the hotel rooms up there just yet on the website, but I'm told that's coming soon. And we had an exciting week.
We did. Or you
Because-
did. I didn't.
Yeah. And that I hit the wrong button. Why did I
Jason
hit
Baker.
the wrong button?
Elliot Fuleman.
Yeah, they are from Terrifier 3, and we have some new why I'm pressing the button, and that's what I want to do. So they have been announced that they're coming. That's the hot movie of this Halloween. There are other movies that made more in the horror space this year, but really everybody was talking Terrifier 3. It's a unique release model that they tried, and they obviously succeeded. Now, Jeff, take a look at the picture. Do you see the terrifying thing in the background?
There's like a point or something.
That is Art the Clown's eye. See?
I
It's
see it
painted
now.
around
I do
it.
See it, yeah.
Yeah, that's his eye.
Here, oh, I know. I see the pupil and everything. Yeah.
Aren't I'm very creative.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing: are they that age right now?
Are they that age right now?
Don't be.
Yes, those pictures are recent.
So you're going to have children. At
He's
this thing.
he looks younger than he is, like a lot of people in Hollywood. They
Okay.
put a lot of
Okay.
schmuckum on their face.
Okay. I'm just asking questions.
That's what the ladies say to me too. Put a lot of schmuckum on my face. Barbara Crampton,
See?
of course, is coming out. Darcy the Mail Girl. We got 2 people from Thanksgiving. We got 2 people from Evil Dead 2. We have Michael Berryman is coming out from The Hills Have Eyes. Lisa Schrag from Prom Night 2. Thank God that came up, because if I forgot, Susie Snowflake would get all melty on
Yeah.
us. So, it's great
It
stuff.
looks like a great lineup. It really does.
I don't think they're done.
Good.
I don't think they're done.
Good. I still have,
think
I
there's
have a
more.
couple wish list people out there.
You do?
I do.
Now, Jeff, you were telling me earlier how much you love Terminator 3 or Terrifier 3.
Yep.
Terrifier 3?
Yep.
Is it as good as Terrifier 2, Jeff?
It's better.
It is. Oh, that's good to know. All right.
But I think The Strangers is better than it.
Then It? The movie It?
I didn't like
or
It.
this movie?
No, I didn't like it.
You don't like It?
I couldn't watch it. It's dumb. You got a clown living in a drain. Stupid.
And there it is. All right. I am going to be talking about some baseball movie I watched called Mr. Baseball.
I love baseball.
Which is an inaccurate name because Mr. Baseball is Bob Uecker. And when I saw this go across the screen, I was very upset. I was triggered. The movie
Whatever.
is a Universal
God.
picture.
You were triggered.
It's a Universal picture from 1992. Jeff will tell us how long it is, I'm sure.
Hour and 48 minutes.
You feel it, too. It stars Tom Selleck as Jack Elliott. He's an aging American baseball player. He's traded to the
Come on, Tim.
Chunichi Dragons, which is a Japanese baseball team. Apparently, in Japan, they don't only stab each other as ninjas, they also play baseball. I learned things from this movie. Now, Jack Elliott, he initially is resistant to the move, and then he saw one of the fine Japanese women, and he said, I think I could go down on that. And he decided to make a go of it. But he struggles to adapt to all the cultural differences of Japanese baseball, particularly something called teamwork. He isn't real big on that one.
He's not.
He's not good with that. He clashes with his teammates and his manager, and they really make him feel like the schmuck that he is.
Did you like at the airport where he hands out his baseball cards as business
That was
cards?
awesome.
That was pretty good.
And I watched it with one of the foremost authorities in baseball in the United States, as you know.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned that those were upper deck cards from like the late 80s or something.
Okay.
I
like it.
That's the style that they were. Now, they do this whole thing from the very beginning of the movie. You know where it's going. Like, at first it's a culture clash, and slowly but surely he was going to learn how to work within that
I didn't know
culture.
that when I watched it.
Oh my God.
You didn't know that.
This is, okay, Jeff, the name of this type of comedy, there are so many of these types of comedies, they actually have a term for it. It's called the fish out of water. It's a fish out of water comedy. You got Crocodile Dundee. You have Splash. All these movies, I could go on, Tarzan in New York. You just go on and on about all these films where it's somebody that is in the wrong culture and they're not fitting in. Gung Ho, the movie Gung Ho,
Like fish-
is like this in reverse.
Like a fish in water would be like Jaws.
Yes, Jeff. So I had seen this movie in bits and pieces because I taught Japanese as a substitute teacher for a couple of days.
Nice.
And
Really?
they said, well, it's obvious whoever we get as a substitute teacher, they're not going to be able to just start speaking Japanese. They didn't know they were going to have an 812-year-old vampire that knew Japanese.
You know Japanese?
I know a little. Konnichiwa. But
Sushi.
they just right buffet. But anyway, sorry.
on, Tim.
But I had seen parts of this movie, and what's funny is I knew when we hit the 50-minute mark, because that's where they go to the temple. I knew that scene very well because that's where we had to always stop the movie.
Okay.
Roll it back for the next
I get you.
for the next hour. I mean, I knew that scene very well. The rest of the movie, I couldn't remember. I was surprised to find out that it was Fred Shipsey was the director. He's the director of Steve Martin's second best film, which is Roxanne. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is his best.
Wow.
Roxanne, I believe, is Steve Martin's second best film.
Wow, I don't have those either in my top 10.
Okay, so you can name 10 Steve Martin movies that are better than Roxanne and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Okay, this should be good. Let's hear 10 Steve Martin movies. I don't even care if you're right or wrong, if they're better or worse. I want to hear you name off 10 Steve Martin movies. Or am I going to continue at this point?
No, you have The Jerk.
The Jerk, that's one.
You have Three Amigos.
Okay, that's two.
Yeah.
You're doing better than I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean,
Okay.
I don't even want to bore the people with all of them. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Great job. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
The Man with Two Brains. Man with
Two Brains.
Two Brains. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. Parenthood. That's 5.
I'm not going to mess with you anymore. Okay, now in the movie we got Tom Selleck. Art LaFleur is in the movie. Do you remember Art LaFleur?
Yes. Of course. I don't know.
Go ahead, Chief.
Art LaFleur.
Now, Art LaFleur plays his manager at the beginning of the movie that basically tells him we're trading
Yes.
you.
Oh, I know who
Do
he
you
is.
recognize
Yeah,
him?
he was in another movie that we had.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. We
The
didn't even do
Season.
what? Yes, it was the one where we had the soup. We're eating the soup from the middle of the. No.
No, it was one of your movies. Field of Dreams. He played
Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
He also played Babe Ruth in The Sandlot. This guy always plays Babe Ruth. Art LaFleur.
Hey, but
he is like the movie version of Mr. Baseball. He's always played a baseball player, and the guy doesn't look like a baseball player except for Babe Ruth. That's the only baseball player he looks like.
I'm trying to think of something to say, but I can't remember what it was. It had to do with your movie. But you can go ahead. I'll think of it.
And we're gonna get to the horror movie connection.
Oh yeah,
as
we didn't
well.
do it for mine. We didn't do the.
We don't do a horror movie connection for the horror movie, Jeff.
What
We only do the Pauly Shore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Dennis Haysbert, who you know is selling you insurance for years, and the president of the United States on the TV show 24.
And Serrano from Major League.
Correct.
You didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, I did know that.
All right.
I didn't know his name.
Serrano, come on.
I call him Voodoo Priest Guy.
No, Serrano.
Or Voodoo Priest Guy.
Who knows about movies?
Right. Because you gave me a movie that had a 12% Rotten Tomatoes score. You're a great judge
I don't
of
go
film.
by those. I don't go by that. I think
Okay.
that's all BS.
There is a line in the movie that I know Jeff was very excited to hear, and that's about a greased BB going up your butt.
Whatever.
I had to write that down. I'm like, now there's a great baseball line, greased BB up your butt.
Baseball
Good
bat.
times. Okay. Here are my things with the movie. We're
Here
going
we
to get
go.
into
Here we go.
going into it. The baseball scenes are a bit awkward in this movie. Just wait.
I will.
But I think that was on purpose because they wanted to show how, even though it was baseball, it felt foreign to Jack. I did want to ask you about the chateau.
Yeah.
Chateau. Is that a real pitch?
No. Well, maybe it is.
Actually, it is.
Maybe it is in Japan.
It is a Japanese pitch. We looked it up. Actually, I didn't have to look it up. I went like this. Stefan, is that? He told me. So you can look that one up. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But it's a big thing in Japan, and it doesn't get used here at all. It just doesn't fit into this style of play. I did find it fun to see all the 90s cell phones on display in the film. That was fun to see.
How about the cell phones in The Stranger? You had the flip phone.
Yes, they had
With
this
the battery on it.
Yes, that was awesome.
But go ahead.
Here's one of my problems. I don't know. Was it 10? Was it 12 times? Somebody says to Jack, "There's a hole in your swing."
Yes.
When did that get fixed? You don't see the scene that had to come because that manager keeps saying there's a hole in your swing. There has to be the scene where the manager teaches him, hey, this is where your problem is with your swing. You need to, get the right hand out first or something like that. That never happens. Instead, you get scenes of Tom Selleck running upstairs in the stadium. Now, I'm not debating if that's a good type of training. What it is, it's really poor storytelling. Is what it. Oh, you couldn't bring up Steve Martin so you can name those other movies?
No.
Oh, okay. Of course not. But the script was awkward in that way. It was kind of parakeeted up. Jerry Goldsmith.
What does that mean?
What?
Parakeeted up.
Parakeeted up?
Yeah.
Just a total mess.
Pennies from Heaven.
Oh,
No. The Lonely Guy, All of Me, Movers and Shakers.
All of Me is a good movie.
Little Shop of Horrors.
I would give All of Me
Dirty
a
Rotten
run.
Scoundrels. How can you forget Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? That's a great movie.
You did. Just
My
a moment
Blue
ago.
Heaven, L.A. Story. My goodness, The Father of the Bride, Grand Canyon.
Okay, My Blue Heaven is no longer up on the screen. Who is he in that movie with?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No.
Glenn Close.
No.
Goldie Hawn.
No. Rick Moranis?
No. I don't know. The band played on. Simple Twist of Fate. Mixed Nuts. Father of the Bride 2. How do you not know these?
Mixed Nuts is probably his worst film.
I know.
And there are some bad ones. Bowfinger.
That's good.
Bowfinger should be in the top 5 for him. Okay. You're distracting from my incredibly insightful review.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Jerry Goldsmith does the soundtrack on here. Now, Jerry Goldsmith has done a lot of great soundtracks. He did The Sand Pebbles in 1966, Planet of the Apes in 68, which I think is a masterful soundtrack. Patton is a very good one. A little one note, but it's a good soundtrack. This movie is not going to go on the list of best Jerry Goldsmith things. It almost sounds like a video game.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Planet of the Apes, Patton, and Chinatown. I've seen those.
Right.
What is the Sand Pebbles? What's that about?
Sand Pebbles.
3 hours long, man. 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Yes, it is. It's a slog. Steve McQueen, and it's a wartime movie
All right.
in I think it's the Philippines. It's okay. It was Oscar bait at the time.
Sure enough. Fair enough. All right.
But yeah, it's 3 hours you will not get back.
Okay, I won't watch it.
Yeah. But the score's good in that one.
Why do they call it a score?
Because they want to upset sports fans.
Musical score?
Well, a lot of people call it... See, they separate score from soundtrack.
Yeah, why?
Because soundtrack, like that thing that you do, we talked about the Liv Tyler movie.
Yeah.
The songs are soundtrack. But music that they might play in between, that's instrumental, they'll call that score.
Okay.
So there's a different... Like Guardians of the Galaxy had a soundtrack of all these 1970s songs, but it also had an orchestral score that was in between.
So on The Strangers, they played music on the phonograph. That would be the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then all that background music and the drama music playing up to it is the score.
Yeah.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, in that one, because there's like only one, maybe 2 songs that they actually play in there,
Yeah.
I'm not sure they came out with a soundtrack album.
But that's what it would be.
But yeah.
So that's how you differentiate it. The score is more of a
That's
composer.
how people do differentiate it. I don't know that it's a hard and fast rule.
But a score is no words. It's just music. It just
typically, though, there are movies like Rocky comes to mind, where they say "gotta fly now." They say that. So there are words, but we would consider that part of the score.
Okay.
So, like I say, it's not really a hard, fast rule, but it's kind of how that works.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, now that I'm done beating that to death, let's beat up Pauly Shore and the Pauly Shore Connection.
Dude, need fundage, bro.
You are very easily distracted.
Well, I just want people to go to
Okay.
my website.
Look at what I was able to do. I took Tom Selleck to Steve Guttenberg. I was like, let's make this fun. Steve Guttenberg, of course, was in Three Men and a Baby. This was the period of time where Tom Selleck was allowed to make movies and not be on television. It was like in between Magnum PI and Blue Bloods period. And that was exactly the time where Steve Guttenberg was making movies before he seemingly fell off the face of the earth. Before he fell off the face of the earth, he actually still does make some movies. But he did make one of the Casper movies. He was a voice. And Pauly Shore was in the Casper films. He provided a voice. So that's our Pauly Shore connection.
So I obviously don't have this as a trivia question, but Tom Selleck,
Yeah.
he portrays himself as a New York Yankee in this movie, and then he goes over to Japan. But his favorite team are the Detroit Tigers.
And that's the hat I believe he wore a Magnum PI,
did.
is it not?
But yeah, it is. But then I want to ask you one other quick thing, because this is so okay. We're Gen Xers, and I'm sure that you've all heard this stuff before. I want to see what Tim's honest opinion about this question is.
I'm always honest.
Well, sometimes you're not. But do you remember when we used to hear that if you pause 3 Men and a Baby at a certain time, you
Yes.
see a person hung or something? Is that true?
No, it's a ghost is what you see. And people have taken it. First of all, they said that because the VHS copy does not have the definition that a high definition DVD does today.
Okay.
And now, having reviewed the actual, the remastered or whatever,
Yeah.
it's a standee of Ted Danson. Do you know what a standee
Yeah.
is? One of
Cardboard
those cardboard
cutout? Yeah.
cutouts. They had a cardboard cutout of him, like, sitting around, because he was a egotistical actor.
Yeah.
One of himself. And that was, like, outside the window or something for whatever reason. But when you look at it, it is a little like, what the hell is this dude
It's
doing
creepy
outside?
because it looks like you see a noose.
No, you're conflating that with the Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz supposedly has a munchkin that committed suicide in the background.
Really?
But if you watch it on the Blu-ray, it's very easy to tell it was just one of the emus. They had a lot of exotic animals on the set. It's just an emu, and they got that weird neck.
Yeah.
So it looks like somebody had hung themselves, but it's really just a bird. So if you watch the old
Really?
VHS, or you watch on YouTube where people have it, looking like it's off VHS, it looks really creepy and dark. And then you watch the Blu-ray, and you're like, well, that's just a delightful little bird walking around on the set. And by the way, you can find Blu-rays of The Wizard of Oz this time of year at Walmart every year. Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz. You can find them for $5 a lot of times around Black Friday. If you don't own those two films, at least get Wizard of Oz and Blu-ray. It is gorgeous.
What's the other movie?
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. Hey, so was Doug there in that scene too?
Doug.
In The Wizard of Oz?
This is not going to be a DVP thing, is it?
Lee Weeaboo and Doug.
Jeez.
All right.
By the way, Dick Van Patten, not in any of our films tonight. For those of you that are
that?
asking about DVP.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of people
I only know him as DVP.
after last week's show, people are like, is there going to be any DVP tonight? No Dick Van Patten.
Nope.
And we might change next season from Pauly Shore connection to DVP connection.
That might be fun.
There's been some discussion about changing off
right.
Pauly Shore because
Would that
we've been baiting him and he won't respond on Instagram.
Would that be something if you went from whatever actor it was to Pauly Shore to DVP?
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
No, I'm not doing that. Oh,
All right.
Boy.
Let's see the horror movie connections.
Okay, so let's start with our man, Tom Selleck. He Surprisingly, he did have early in his career, like we often talk about, he had a horror movie called Daughters of Satan. He shockingly only has 3 sports credits. I did find 3 sports movies he was in. Look at him. He should have been in like sports movies almost nonstop.
Didn't he?
He
Also,
looks. I will say,
he's like the Kevin Costner.
Mr. Baseball. He looks like a guy that should be called Mr. Baseball more than Bob Uecker looks like he should be called Mr. Baseball. He's got that look.
Didn't he pass
I was
on the
a little
role for
surprised.
Indiana Jones?
He did not pass on the role. They were going to hire him,
See what we're learning
but the
tonight?
guys that had the contract for Magnum PI said no go, and he was not allowed to take it.
Gotcha.
Just like Pierce Brosnan was not allowed to be James Bond at first because he was under contract for Remington Steele.
Gotcha.
You do not get me started on some of this stuff.
You know what? But we're all learning stuff.
Okay, next. Ken Takakura. What a loser.
Wow.
But if you're wondering what else you've seen him in, he's best known for the movie Black Rain with Michael Douglas. Good flick. I highly recommend.
I could go
God.
so many different ways, but I'm not gonna.
Frickin' Jeff. Aya Takanashi.
Yep.
Okay. This one's fascinating. No horror credits.
Yep.
She only had 3 credits.
Yep.
And this is one of them. How the heck do you get a major Hollywood movie like this? And this is one of 3 credits you have.
You know how she got there.
Crazy. Well, yeah, she
Stop. Let's go to the next one. Dennis.
like butter. She spread them.
Dennis Habert.
Ken, by the way, had 211 credits. Tom Selleck only 89 credits.
Really?
I was surprised, but they count like Blue Bloods as 1 credit. Well, shit, that was like 20 years of his career or something.
Can you name
so.
10 Ted Danson movies?
Ted Danson movies?
No, not Ted Danson. Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck movies? Movies would be tough because
would
he's
be.
primarily
Yeah.
he's primarily
You have Quigley
Television.
Down Under.
Quigley Down Under. You would go High Road to China.
Cousins.
Three Men and a Baby, 3 Men and a Little Lady. Cousins.
He's with a woman and their cousins, and then that's Ted Danson. So that's not even right.
Yeah.
So let's just forget it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Don't you get Ted Danson and Tom Selleck mixed up?
Never.
I do.
No. Okay, Dennis Haysbert. Dennis Haysbert. He, Hall of Famer, of course, for Major League. He also, and we love pressing this button, Outer Limits in Canada. He did the Outer Limits in Canada in 2001. And he was a voice in Dead Rising video games. Let me tell you, his voice has more credits than his face. Yeah, he does have a great voice. I did not like his character in this movie as much as I did in Major League. I didn't connect to him. This dude, Toshi Shioya, I just hit that. This movie was not good for horror credits. It was not good.
No.
And that's kind of a thing. It's not, oh, look at who that is. It's Mr. Baseball right there.
I'm so sick of him.
I know. That's how I do it.
It's something, though, how Pat Murphy, one year managing the team as manager of the year, well, Craig Counsell can't even get it there.
Wow. All right, are you ready for the score?
I am.
What do you think I'm going to give it?
I have no idea, Tim.
I have it written down, so you'll know.
I know, but if I
change
look at it, I'm not going to look at it. I have no idea, Tim.
All right. I give it a 6.
Oh.
Which is, in my mind, a passing grade. Will I sit down and watch this movie again? Probably not. Do I feel angry that I watched it? No. No, I don't feel angry that I
You should
watched
never
it.
feel angry.
Do I think, oh, I have.
Fish that saved Pittsburgh.
God. Yeah, I might drop the score by 1 because you
can't do
mentioned
that.
Here's the problem with this fish out of water comedy.
Fish out of water.
It needed to be funny. They didn't do that. There were a lot of obvious jokes. Tom Selleck walks through the airport and literally everybody comes up to here on him.
Yeah.
That they didn't pay that off. That they didn't. If you want to see the difference in how you make a film like this, watch Gung Ho, because it's this movie in reverse. The Japanese invading America instead of the American invading Japan. That movie is very funny. Very funny.
It is.
Michael Keaton is great in it. I think they set up a comical situation, and they just assumed by setting up the situation it was going to be funny.
Yeah.
And then they hired, on the Japanese side, not a very good actress to go against Tom Selleck.
Mm-hmm.
She was still learning English. Ken Tanaka, great actor, but he plays such a stick in the mud. He's so serious, but he isn't funny because he's serious. Sometimes you have a character like that, and it's funny because he is such a, stick in the mud. They don't do that. Where when you watch Gung Ho, they have a character that's very not confident, but I got to follow the rules and all that. They play him for all the comedy they can get out of him, and he's really funny. So it doesn't match up well with Gung Ho, which, by the way, I think is canceled. That's very hard to find streaming.
Gung Ho was a very good movie.
But it was funny.
I saw that quite a few times.
Yeah, it's funny. This movie, I would say it's an amusing drama is where it is. It's amusing. It isn't dark or anything. At no point does Tom Selleck kill people, though I thought there were a couple of times I was hoping.
Wouldn't that have been annoying in the stands when they made all that noise in the stands? I could not handle that. I could never handle that. They have these tubes in it.
Yes, they're hitting. They
Oh
basically
my
got
God.
PVC pipes and they're beating the hell
Oh my
out of
God,
it.
I can't handle
I'm
that.
like, so everybody comes to the thing with basically drums and instruments. Could you imagine? Everybody comes to the stadium and they got like maracas.
No.
Or
No. And the other thing that you learn from this, from learning about Japanese baseball, is that they end after so many innings. Whether you're winning or losing, whether it's tied or not, the game's over.
well, they're
And
not
it's-
American.
Yeah, I know, but
It's not American, so they're going to do things wrong.
exactly.
So-
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Though honestly, didn't we kind of do that in this country now that we got clocks on everything? We basically, that's one way to keep your game to a reasonable length.
I know. I don't want to talk about that.
6-hour games aren't fun anymore at 6
They are.
hours.
Those are fun games. I don't like the
They're
fast
not.
version, but
They're not.
yes, they are.
Okay, are you going first or am I? Let me explain to them while you
What are we doing?
decide. We're doing trivia. In trivia, we read 3 trivia statements. One of them is a lie, and our opponent needs to figure out which one's a lie. Are you reading
I'll ask
first?
you first, yeah.
Okay. Here, let me practice. There we go. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, Tom Selleck recorded a Major League Baseball at bat during spring training the year before Mr. Baseball came out in 1991. Ken
Okay.
Takatura,
Wait, in like an official game? Is that what
a
that
spring
was?
training game.
A spring training game. Okay.
Ken Takatura, Selleck's manager,
Tekatura,
he
yeah.
actually played for the Chimanchi Dragons for 2 seasons before pursuing acting. And
Okay.
Haysbert
At a professional level.
for the Chinchami
Okay,
Dragons.
yeah, I got it.
for them,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
And then Haysbert, Haysbert dude,
Yeah, Dennis Haysbert.
yeah, he was the first actor to portray DC Comics character Killjoy outside of the comics.
What?
It's Kilowog. Killjoy.
I never even heard of that.
Well, it's a DC character. He was the first one to do it.
Here's the thing. I don't believe that
You hate,
Ken.
you hate my questions. I'm sorry.
I don't believe that Ken Tanaka or whatever his name is. I don't believe he actually played professional baseball. That hits me. That he played for 2 years. He has a 211 credits. When the hell did he do that?
People are
I'd say-
18, 19 years old at one point.
I never was.
You can do whatever you want, Tim.
I was bit at age 42, but I never did 18. I skipped that.
You know what? You can say whatever you want, but you think about them, all right?
I'm going to say number 2's delay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm glad that you said really because I can go ahead and hit this right away. Right?
Yep.
Here we go.
But your logic makes no sense, but okay. A guy could go and play ball when he's 17, 18 years
211 is a lot of credits.
Not really.
That
Dude,
takes a long time.
those are all Japanese films. How do you know they don't shoot like 3 or 4?
That's racist.
How do you know they do 3? Yeah, so is the movie Black Rain. All right. So anyways.
Black Rain is an excellent
It is a
flick.
good movie.
People should
Michael
check.
Douglas
You've
and
never
it-
seen it.
the-
You have never seen it.
Yes, I do. Andy, somebody.
Garcia.
Yes, he gets killed in it.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Good.
come by. He's on a motorcycle. They come by and they cut his head off.
Good. Okay. Good stuff.
Counterfeit. It's about counterfeit
Very
bills.
good. All right. I have to decide what
Don't say things I don't know.
What?
Let's go.
What?
So don't say things I don't know. I gotta
okay.
look over here so I don't check, so I don't see your questions.
Yeah, I gotta figure out which one I'm giving you.
I can't believe you.
Okay, here we
You're-
go.
You can
Here's
gain
one.
a lot of points this week if I get this wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. You're usually very good at trivia, though. I'll grant you that. All right. So my first one is going to be Scott Speedman. Was a competitive swimmer.
Okay.
Was a competitive.
Yeah, you're playing
swimmer.
off of Speedo, but go ahead.
Liv Tyler's.
Wait a second. Competitive. What does that really mean? In the Olympics, in high school, in college, where was he competitive? In his backyard against his brother?
I believe it was either high school or college.
All right.
It was organized sport. I'll put
Okay,
it that
that's a good way to put it.
way. Okay, competitive swimmer. Liv Tyler's adoptive legal father is rock star Todd Rundgren. And
What? Wait, what?
And the third one, Scott Speedman was arrested for driving under the influence of heroin in 2013.
Okay, there's a lot going on with these questions. There's a lot.
Yes,
there's a lot going on.
I like to
And-
give you a mix. I like to give you a mix, Jeff.
Read me the one about Liv Tyler again.
Liv Tyler's adoptive legal father is rock star Todd Rundgren. Do 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 do.
See, the thing of it is that you say that one about competitive swimming.
Yeah.
Competitive swimming, though, that could mean anything. That's so vague, Tim. I don't know if
I like
that.
to be vague.
I don't like that question. I really don't. So that
Okay.
that one's gonna be true because it could be anything.
Okay.
And then he was all hopped up on heroin in 2013.
Yep.
And what happened to him?
He was arrested for driving under the influence of heroin. Heroin.
I don't think you can drive when you're on heroin, because heroin makes you really sleepy. So it would make him be like. So I don't think he'd be driving. Liv Tyler though. See, I think that Liv Tyler is like another reverse negative. I think what it is I think we know that her dad is that, but I think what they did is that Steven Tyler said, "Hey, you know what? I can't handle being a dad, so I need you to be the adoptive father."
Well, so he picked a different father for his daughter. That's your theory.
Well, we know that Steve Tyler is Liv Tyler's daughter. We know that.
How do you know that?
Because everybody knows that
Oh.
she did the videos for him, this crazy video and all that.
Well, she's just another hot piece of ass. They had a hot piece of asses before that too.
Could you read that question again?
Jesus Christ. Liv Tyler's adoptive legal father is rock star Todd Rundgren.
So if he adopted her, it'd be her last name would be, what's his last name? Rundgren. It'd be
Rundgren.
So it'd be Liv Rundgren. But a lot of people have a real last name, but they get an acting name. So she probably took her dad's acting name.
These are all very difficult questions, but we're over time already.
I just think that the swimming one
Here we go.
is just like, well, I could say, he was a competitive badminton person. So, I mean, he played badminton.
I'm competitive at pickleball, just so you know. And by that I mean I haven't even watched the game.
But he is in shape, so he probably did that. So the heroin thing, though, I don't think you can drive. I don't think they let you drive if you're on heroin.
They don't let you drive when you drink either.
I know, but drinking and driving is a different game. That's a whole different.
Well, that's because we're in Wisconsin, frankly. That's the only reason you say that.
I'm gonna say
Here it's a sport.
I'm actually gonna say the question that is false.
Yeah.
Is gonna be the heroin one.
The heroin?
Yep. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. That's how you figure stuff out. Yes!
Yeah,
Yes!
Take frickin' forever.
Yes!
And eventually you'll get
Yes!
the right answer.
Yes!
Holy cow, that was difficult to watch.
Because you cannot drive when you're on heroin because it puts you to sleep. Yes! He was never behind the wheel.
Additional information. Scott Speedman was a competitive swimmer through college.
There you go.
Duh.
Everybody knows that.
That's why he never took heroin. He actually takes care of himself.
Right.
I think he still like screws around with it a little bit.
Swimming?
Todd Rundgren, Steven Tyler did leave when Liv was quite small, and Todd Rundgren brought her up, and she kind of she kind of considers him really her father, but they both met. The two of them first met at her wedding.
Yep.
Todd Rundgren and
Of course, dirt.
yeah. Okay.
What about the heroin one?
I made it up. Nope.
No kidding. I got it right.
Oh, woo!
Yeah, baby. Let's see that score. Let's see that score.
Yeah, well, I got to make sure I have it open. There we go. All righty, let's get to that score and hit that button right there. Okay, so where is my cursor? Okay, so the horror movie was an 8. I gave a 6 out of mercy.
Tim got 5.
I think we both got it this week, right? Yeah, so 5 and 5. So Jeff continues to have a lead moving into the final 3. That is not bad. This is turning into quite the little contest. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we have more coming
in a long time from
2025.
Jesus.
Because February 6, 2025.
February, not even January?
February.
Oh my God. All right.
You'll survive. You'll survive.
No, because I'm not watching this movie.
Paranormal Activity.
How am I going to ever sleep again?
That's not my problem. Deb told me she'd just as soon you not be in bed a lot of the nights. So we just are helping her out because you're a little boisterous in there. I am going to be watching Remember the Time.
This is a very good movie. It's a true movie. It's a true story. It's a very good movie.
Denzel Washington is one of the leads in Gladiator 2 that's coming out.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm not a Gladiator fan.
Gladiator was good, but what are they going to do?
You know what was good was that Spartacus TV series. That was kick-ass.
You sent me that.
Yeah, it is kick-ass. Okay, so that's coming up February 6th. If you don't like that schedule, send your emails to Jeff at otherworldlyculture.com.
Look at that face on me. I'm like reading. I look mad.
You're always looking
I don't like
mad.
that. I look mad.
So not next week. Next week it's Thanksgiving, obviously. But the next dead on Thursday is coming December 5th, and it's going to be Seaslick, Del Zotto, Exler, and Killer Kretschmann. You can take over for me.
Yes.
You want to come in and run Dead on Movie Review?
Hell yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, no. Tim does a lot. Tim does a lot behind the scenes here, and it's amazing what he does. Yep, you did. You ran my foot over, but it's okay.
I did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't mean to. I am very heavy, So that's not good. Now remember, we have 4 shows that rotate here. We have Dead on Bases that you know well, and Dead on Movie Reviews. And we have Horror Realm Radio, which there might be a secret one that comes out in December.
That's what she said.
And our new show is now streaming. And
I know.
We got one coming up soon.
And what about the new show after that?
We're not teasing that yet. Do you not remember?
I
We're
just
not
have to say.
teasing. It's going to be announced at Horror Realm.
Oh, okay. But it has 3 M's in it.
Thought they have one less. All right.
Hey, but here's the thing, though.
Here's the thing.
I want to be on the one where we're streaming. We watch the movie all together.
Okay. I think you're signed up for one,
I know.
if not 2.
I know.
Trying to remember. All right. Well,
And we're gonna.
we'll play. Let's look at the sign-up sheet after the
And
show.
Tim and I are gonna watch Chopping Mall, so we'll talk about that.
Yes, we are going to watch Chopping Mall because Jeff wants to learn more about what Barbara Crampton looks like in various stages of undress.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Yeah, no, actually, you do want to learn more about her, though.
I do.
I suggested that movie strongly, and we'll let people in the chat room tell me if that was a good choice or not. All right, well, that's it for this week's Dead on Thursday, Dead on the Bases, and we'll be coming back in February, but we do have another show on Dead on Thursdays coming up in 2 weeks, right after Thanksgiving.
Are we gonna come on at all and wish people like Merry Christmas and that? You and I?
The 2 of us?
Oh.
Actually, what we were going to do is you were going to dress up like Santa Claus. I was going to dress up as Dracula, and we were going to Christmas carol on the cul-de-sac here.
That's fine, but how about our people that view this? Now, can't we? So do I have to say Merry Christmas,
They can
Happy
come
New Year
out
right
here. They can come out here.
Should I just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year right now?
And you could say Happy Thanksgiving, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving next week.
Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
and Happy New Year.
Do you know how to say that in German, since you're learning it?
I do. I got it. Here it is.
No, do you want to hear it said correctly? Or
Yeah,
you want
Feliz
to try?
Navidad.
Close. Fröhliche Weihnachten und ein glückliches und gesundes neues Jahr.
It's a lot of words
You
to
got
say
that
Merry
memory?
Christmas.
Yeah, the Merry Christmas is just Fröhliche Weihnachten.
Oh.
The glückliches und gesundes is and a Happy New Year as well.
What about Fraulein?
Fraulein?
Anyway,
draw the line
so
at the
okay,
Fraus.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you all in 2025.
That's right, and it's time to close the crypt and call the game. Thank all of you for watching, and remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. You can find our show at otherworldlyculture.com. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts. You can check us out on Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher. Well, I think Stitcher's gone now, but Spotify, YouTube, other fine places you find podcasts. I'm going to wipe. I think Stitcher's gone. What happened to Stitcher? I liked Stitcher.
Did you see Susie says we're going to have a special New Year's Eve show?
We are?
I guess so.
We'll be talking after the show. Hey, everybody, here's something you may not know. If it's sports... If it's sports, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home! We're dead on the bases, and we'll see you next time.
Otherworldlyculture.com.
MosquitoFootballRules.com.
Is Tamara there?
What?
Is Tamara
No, stop. Stop. I've got.
Because you are home.
I've purged this room from my thought process. I will get a good night's sleep tonight.
What's that at the window?
Funny. Haha.
Okay.
Elf, Zweif, Zen, Oyach, Sieben, Seitz, Front.
See, you should know the 1, 2, 3 because
Eins, zwei,
you go,
drei.
Eins, zwei, drei, and then Zuffa, and you get to drink the beer. So I would think you'd be all about that.
I don't just drink.